What's good, YouTube? Daybreak748 coming back at you guys with a set of figure reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at Trunks and Time Patroller from S.H.Figuarts. Now these two characters are not from the main Dragon Ball anime. It's actually from the video game Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Now, with that said, obviously we know who Trunks is, but this guy right here, he's just a character that they made for that particular game. So, if you are just a anime completist, then this guy can definitely be a pass. But for me, I just collect anything and everything that's Dragon Ball related, so I had to pick at least one of these guys up. And to be honest, I feel like he comes with some awesome interchangeable pieces, so I definitely wanted to pick this one up and see what he had to offer. Now with that said, standard packaging, we have the picture of the figure right here, open display window right here. You have many different pictures on the side here. On the back, it showcases the video game that these guys are from. Showcases all the different interchangeable parts and how you can display these two characters. And then on the other side right here, it just pretty much has their names on it. So with that said, guys, give me a sec. I'll be right back. I'm going to take these guys out of package and we'll see what they have to offer. Be back in a few. Alright guys, and we are back. We have Time Patroller and Trunks out of their packaging, and I gotta say, these are okay figures. I mean, they're not the greatest, they're not the crappiest. If you're not a fan of the video games that these guys are from, then obviously these are definite passes. Personally, now having these in possession, I feel like I could have spent my money better elsewhere, but hey, I am a completist, and so I had to pick these up. With that said, let's take a look at their accessories and then we'll move on to the actual figures themselves. So starting off with Trunks, this face sculpt slash head is perfect. I love it. The premium color version of this was this glossy paint that they used, and that was not good. I didn't like that at all. This one, on the other hand, looks perfect. The face is done very, very nicely. These little bang pieces, be careful because they are very, very tiny, and if you're like pushing up against it, you can definitely snap that thing off. So be very careful. But the coloring looks great and it just looks good overall. Alright, moving on to some of the other face sculpts that you get with Trunks. You get the powered down version of him looking off to his left, and he has that little smirk, so that's pretty cool. And then you have this screaming powered up version of Trunks, and there you go. So that's good. I like it. You get this nice sheath right here, and it is different from the original one that we've gotten from the premium color edition. And the original, it didn't have these little bolts here, and the color scheme was very, very different. But I personally like this one more because it looks a little bit more like realistic, even though Dragon Ball Z is not really realistic. So that's that. And also, this part looks like it's broken, but it's really not. This is used for when you want to just have the sword in the actual sheath. Now, something to keep in mind, the sword itself is different color as well. So the original Trunks had a silver sword, and then this piece right here was brown. But as you guys can clearly see, we have gold and we have blue. So that's pretty interesting. Sword right here looks pretty good. Same thing that I just mentioned applies to this one as well. Alright, now this piece right here, I have no idea what this is. It looks like a scroll of some sort, but the attention to detail is all there. Paint job is done nicely. I have no idea, like I said, what this thing is, but looks pretty cool. Alright, last thing for Trunks, you have many different interchangeable hands. You have some hands to hold this thing right here, and you have some hands to hold the actual sword. So you get a set for each of the accessories, and then you have these Kai blasting hands right here, and you get a set of that. So that takes care of Trunks. Now moving on to Time Patroller here, you get a reuse of this effect piece that came with Gohan, I think it was. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the fact that we actually have another one of these now, so that you can have like Gohan shooting this fireball and someone else. If you want Time Patroller to be shooting this, then that's fine too. But if you don't, then you can use it with any other character. Something else that he comes with is this display base right here. And no, this isn't actually for him. It's actually for this fireball effect piece, or energy beam. And you can clearly see that there's a peg hole right here. So you use the stand to prop this thing up. Alright, moving on to the many different faces that you get with this guy. Now, I really dig this head sculpt, and to be honest, when I first saw prototype pictures and like the finished product pictures, I thought this would have been a perfect head to swap onto the Ultimate Gohan figure. Now, I tried it, and unfortunately, this character is smaller than this Ultimate Gohan. So his head, it looks like it'll be okay, but when you try putting it on, it's a snug fit, and his face or his head looks a little unproportional. So keep that in mind. Another thing, I really think they dropped the ball on this. I know why they did it, but I wish this scouter piece could come off, but unfortunately they're all molded and glued onto the actual head. So unfortunately you can't have just a powered up version without the scouter. But nevertheless, the head that they actually created here is actually really nice. I like it, and like I said, I really wanted this head sculpt for my Gohan figure, but hey, I guess I can't. So you get this head right here. You get two different interchangeable faces. Once again, all of these have the scouter piece on. The scouter is really nice, just letting you know. And yeah, it looks great. But you have this shouting face powered up, and then you have this looking off to the side shouting face right there, and this is the powered down version. Now when it comes to the hands, you get some fighting posed hands, you get some Kai blasting hands right here, and you get these grr, that type of hand. So yeah, you get those. Alright, so enough of the accessories. Now let's take a look at each figure individually. So here he is, Time Patroller, which I know nothing about. Looks great. I mean, it's pretty much the reuse and rehash of the Trunks figure from way back when. Now the articulation is updated, but if you take a look side by side, the coat's pretty much the same exact piece from this one right here, and the cape is it's new. It feels really, I don't know, gritty. I don't like the feeling. The texture is kind of weird, but it is hinged right over here. Now, can you take this piece off? No, unfortunately you can't, because you have this peg that's kind of hanging out on the back, which really is annoying. And it makes him very back heavy, so keep that in mind. When it comes to articulation, head can look down just that far, not too far down. Can look up only that far because of the collar piece right here and the way his head is sculpted. Can look left, right, and that's pretty much it for the head. The arms are very tight, but it goes out that far. He has a bicep cut right here, which is nicely hidden, and he has the double jointed elbows, and the wrist can go 360 and pivot. Now when it comes to this piece, I don't really like how this is done. It looks too baggy. Now, like I said, I don't know anything about this particular character. Maybe that's how his design was, and might be very show accurate, not show accurate, game accurate, but I don't like it. What's it called? The belt is pretty much a reuse of this, or a retooling of that, but still pretty cool. The upper diaphragm joint works pretty well. He does have a waist swivel, and that's pretty much good there. When it comes to the legs, you guys know how I don't really like these new articulation. His legs can go out that far, can kick that far, knees can bend that far. boot cut, and he has the pivot, and he has the toe joint. So pretty awesome articulation, and like I mentioned earlier, the cape is one solid piece, but it is hinged, so you could get him in some crazy dynamic poses. So that's pretty awesome for Time Patroller. Alright, to finish things off, let's take a look at this version of Trunks. Now, I kind of like this Trunks, especially the head, and I kind of want to swap this out and put it onto this body, and I think it will look perfectly fine. Now, this version of Trunks, he looks older, he looks more wiser, and he looks like he's going to some very cold planet or whatever, because that's the getup he's in. So pretty cool. I like the sculpt, I like the paint job. Everything looks spot on. I don't like this gappiness that we see here, but hey, whatever. So with that said, articulation, can't look up at all, which is a real big bummer. Can look down that far. He does have neck joint, so it can maneuver. Now, when it comes to the arms, he can reach out that far. He has the double jointed elbows, he has the cut for the bicep swivel, the hands, pretty much it's literally the same as the Time Patroller. The upper diaphragm joint is there, the waist cut is there. This piece right here is a thicker plastic piece, so that's unfortunate. So you're not going to be able to get him in some like kicking poses, which really sucks, because I mean, DBZ figures not being able to kick, that's kind of disappointing. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this particular figure. Now real quickly, if you want to put the sheath onto his back, you would just literally pull this piece off right here and then put it over his body, peg it in, and you're good to go. So there you guys have it. We have Trunks from the Xenoverse universe and this random Time Patroller guy, and I gotta say, it's okay. And as you guys can clearly see, this guy's not gonna stand, so I'm gonna keep him like that. But if you guys are a fan of the Xenoverse universe, the game, then definitely these are ones to pick up. If you are just a purist and you only like the TV show, then these could definitely be passes. So that's that. Alright guys, with that said, I mean, I could show you how to swap out the hands and the face and whatever, but you've seen me do it so many times now. I don't think it's worth wasting your time. So if you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, leave it in the comment section down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. With that said, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to watch this video. And if you're new, welcome. Check out my other videos. And with that said, this is Daybreak 748. I'm signing out. Peace out, guys.